I don't know how to do this.
Hola.
Hola. Hola.
Buenas tardes.
Buenas tardes.
Mi nombre es Alexander.
Mi nombre es Alexander.
Just
And
improvise.
okay. The acting teacher tells you to improvise. I've been called out by that before. Well, Juan-Sebastian here runs with a few compañeros the Estudio de Actores in Central Quito, which has been described to me as the best theater school and perhaps theater in all of Quito.
I mean, I like to think that we do one of the best theaters here in Ecuador. We like to think that what we are doing is refreshing, groundbreaking. The important thing about the studio is that it's a school, that we like to develop long pedagogical processes. And that by itself is already, at least here in this city and in this country, is special. It's new because people here are used to getting pedagogical processes only for about 3 months or 5 months long, and we try to create long experiences because that's what art is about. It's long processes.
Long process, development over time. So your course you offer is usually 3 years?
Yes, from 3 to 4 years.
3 to 4 years. And what do you focus on in that time? Like, what are the different years? How do you develop as an actor?
I mean, we separate 3 years in 3 different levels of difficulty. And the first year is naturalism, the second year is realism, and the third year is style. And it's like kind of an arbitrary way to separate like the difficulties of interpreting a text, because there is no such thing as a more or less difficult text. For example, in naturalism, we try to give the students texts that the conflict of the text or the composition of the characters is more or less closer to them, to themselves, or to the conflicts of life, that, as we know it.
That they'd be more easily able to find themselves.
To grasp the situations and the conflicts, right?
Yeah.
But for example, it's harder to grasp the conflict between men and gods, for example, or the Olympus. For example,
so
like trying
more
to
classical theater.
Yeah, classical theater or Greek theater, for example. It's really hard for scenic artists to try to interpret speaking with Poseidon.
Well, when's the last time you did that? I guess.
Well, when's the last time? So yeah, as I say, it's an arbitrary way to separate the texts in order for there to be a process of the action, learning how to create an action in a space with a partner towards the action of the words. That's the idea. The action. We don't separate. We always think that it's the same thing. Like a word can be an action. Like a text can be action. But in order to learn that, the actor first has to learn how their body moves, how their body interprets, how their body improvises, what is improvisation and what is play, and why is it called play?
Why is it called play? Interesting point.
Right. Right. So because the essence of theater is play. If there is no play, it's boring as fuck.
Of course. And you mean play in sort of like the sense also of how kids play predominantly, do you mean?
Exactly. Which we sometimes we speak about that when there's like a difficulty in the actor that is learning how to interpret a text. Sometimes we talk about how kids play, because we are used to play as kids, and then as you grow up, society takes that away from you, because you're supposed to behave in a certain way, you're supposed to dream in a certain way, you're supposed to play in a certain way, and you start to play by the rules of society, and so the play for the adult becomes fantasy.
Yeah.
So there's a big difference.
Very distinct from reality.
Yes, there's a very big difference between play and fantasy. The kid can play, and the adult can fantasize.
Yeah.
And theater is a territory where the adult can relearn how to play.
I love that. That's fantastic. So you're playing a character, of course, or
Right.
yeah. And how do you play? How do you play? You're there on the stage. How do you play?
How do you play? Fuck. Okay. I'm going to try to be concise about it because we don't have much time.
No, I guess.
But yeah, that's a question that we make ourselves. Towards 3 years.
So 3 years. We can talk about this for 3 years.
We can talk about this for 3 years. So, how do we play? The first thing that we do to play is to try to put our body in a special disposition.
Okay.
In a special place of relaxation, ritual, and concentration. There is like this part of the work that we call the previous work.
The previous work.
Yeah, the pre-work.
Okay.
The previous to the scene. Right?
Okay.
It's a pre-expressive moment where the actor can find freedom.
Okay.
So we play with the things that fly in orbit around the scene.
Okay.
So
interesting.
The how do you say vínculo?
The connection.
The connection between the relationship.
Yeah.
Well, for example, things that fly around the scene in orbit, the place, the time, the relationship between characters, the text, the words that the author puts that are very important.
Yeah.
Very, very important. The name of the character, the name of the play, right? All those things are kind of
just loose up there in a cloud.
Loose in a cloud of the freedom of the actor. So the actor tries to metabolize all that through the body and create a pre-expressive moment where they can be free.
Okay.
And then we take that. We are kind of like in an orbit, flying around that orbit, and then we try to land on the scene. Okay. When you land on the scene with a tired body, a body that has already moved, that is already heated up, and has like this interaction with the other person that is working with you, and you land on the scene, we prepare to work with something very concrete that is the objective. The actor chooses an objective. And it's like a hypothesis.
At any one moment, they have an objective to pursue, or
an objective in the scene.
Yeah.
So, for example, and it's a hypothesis.
Okay.
The objective is not the objective of the character. It's the objective of the actor or the actress. So we ask the actor or the actress, if you were Claire.
Bringing the actor into it.
If you were Felice, if you were Hamlet, what would you do if you were in this situation? So we try to hypothesize an objective that it's impossible to accomplish.
Yeah.
And that impossibility is like a kind of like an engine that pushes the impulses of the actor to create an action.
Okay.
Right?
Okay, sure. But so like you pick an objective. Let's say if you're Hamlet or so, you're going to kill the king, right? You want to kill the king. But you're in a normal scene, and so this objective is impossible for the moment.
Exactly.
And you're working towards this larger goal, which.
Exactly.
Okay.
So when the actor very concretely works with that impossible objective and with a prepared body of the pre-expressive moment, then the actor, we can say that the actor can play.
Okay.
Because the actor can be doing, like, for example, this, like touching a leaf for me not to kill you. Because if I stop touching the leaf,
now you're touching that leaf becomes a lot more menacing all of a sudden.
right. So the objective transforms the body in impulses, and the impulses transform in the relationship, the action in the relationship, and the actor, and that is improvisation.
Yeah.
Making actions
in a moment
from improvise.
Yeah.
Like boop,
boop,
and then there's the game, right? Then there's the joy of doing it. because you find yourself doing things that you
never do.
you never do, and you never knew that you could do.
Yeah.
Or the things that can have various layers of significance, right? The leaf and the violence and the love.
It goes up and up
and trying to contain yourself and that's acting.
Yeah.
That's playing.
That's playing. You're you're putting on a role. Yeah, I don't know. These are the words we use: acting, playing.
Like that. That's like the basis that I can give it to you. But of course, it's much more complicated when you're inside and you try to do it.
Of course. I mean, it sounds sort of mystical. I think
it's kind of mystical because it's a 3,000, almost 3,000 year old tradition and culture that we try to keep alive, and it's constantly dying. So it has its ritual, it has its mysticism of it.
Yeah. Well, I was reading your your history of theater?
Yeah.
Right there, book on the thing, just for a second, starting with the Greeks. Of course, they're saying where does play come from? Where does acting come from? These pieces. It was a sort of worship, an act of worship. You're pretending to be these gods and characters and all this sort of stuff. And I think you see that a lot of cultures around the world. They put on a mask to embody, to not be themselves, to embody something else.
Right.
Something sometimes, quite often, godlike.
Exactly.
Or spirit-like,
Mm-hmm.
So I guess you see that. You see that. You see yourself in a Jungian sense. You're inhabiting archetypes a lot of the time when you play.
Yes, I mean sometimes we try to reach that archetype. The big archetype. Like it's like a big umbrella of a. No, I don't know if I can say like a behavior, but an energy. An energy.
A type of being.
A type of being, right? So we try to reach that, and we try to create new kinds of archetypes.
Okay, creation there.
Right. Right. Because each actor can, in the same character, can create different works.
Yeah.
It's different works, and if you do it in a very conscious, humble, and energetical way, like putting your body a lot on it, like investing your body in it, you can create something that is really, really new.
Which is new because it is an interaction between your specific
and the text and God.
And God. Yeah, of course.
Exactly.
Yeah. Which is I mean, they say that is creation, right? And the artist is creating, the artist is making something new, which bringing something new into the world.
Yeah,
of course.
Some people think, for example, that actors don't create, but that's like a Hollywood idea.
Yeah. Okay.
That's like
Poor Hollywood.
that's like a Hollywood. That's what Hollywood tries to sell.
Yeah.
Also, because
Hollywood shells, there are people behind the characters.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But theater is much more human.
Yeah.
Than they think. What they know. They don't know.
They don't know
what we do.
Yeah. No, it's very different.
They have no idea what we do. And Hollywood tries to sell the idea that actors are not as much creators or not as sovereign as, for example, the big genius ideas of directors or authors.
Okay, of course. The author creates the character, or the actor puts on the skin for a second.
Yes.
But they are being the writer's words. They're not often creating themselves. I feel, what's that guy, the Godfather fella? What's his name? What's that guy's name? It's the neighbors playing Bad Bunny.
Marlon
Brando, of course, that guy. Well, when I heard, I'm not sure if this is right, but he apparently didn't look at the script sometimes. He would have memorized the lines. He'd get there and people were like, "What are you gonna do?" And he's like, "Well, I'm gonna act. I'm gonna get up there and act."
I mean, he was great.
Yeah.
He was
an actor.
He was an actor.
Yeah. But we lose so much theater in my country. I don't know. There's not a huge amount of theater, and theater which is created is I mean, quite nude, usually comedic. I'm not sure. We don't really have a lot of classical theater, which you guys are putting on a lot. It's the history of it. You know, the theater stretches back so long. What do you think about classical theater?
That was one of the questions. That was one of the real questions.
Yeah. That's one of the ones I had on the paper. I worked it in there somehow.
I mean, why?
Yeah,
that's a very important question. Especially right now.
Of course.
Especially right now when the world is fucked up.
Yes.
And you have to, as an artist, you have to question yourself why we do what we do and what should we do, right? And the studio has 15 years of life, and I've been there for almost 10 years. So it's a long time.
It's a long time.
It's like I belong there. It's like I feel like it's a project of my life, you know. Yeah. And through the years, I have seen what we put. I have grown. I have matured with the studio. Also, I have matured with the place I have made. And every time that we put Tennessee Williams, for example, there is like this feeling of, why are we putting on Tennessee Williams?
Yeah,
like,
of course. Why? This guy.
Pedagogically, it makes sense because of the conflicts that he creates inside the characters are perfect for learning how to interpret the character. But to make it, say, professionally, why? And every time we do it, we find ourselves face to face with the text. And we say, what are we going to do with this? And then the rehearsals start to put the text in crisis. Because there are some things socially that we live right now, that we live in Ecuador, that start to push inside the text. And we respect Tennessee Williams a lot, so we don't cut out parts or try to make stupid things. But we try to respect him, but also try to push the text towards 2025. Right? Okay. So we kind of change important words, change important names, change important contexts without breaking Tennessee Williams, without killing him.
It's just morphing slightly.
Right. The moment when we kill Tennessee Williams is inside the rehearsal. The actors are in charge of killing Tennessee Williams, not the directors.
Okay.
Yeah. That's an interesting thing, because the big energy of the actor can kill Tennessee Williams. Because Tennessee Williams doesn't write everything.
No.
He just writes his story, right?
Yeah. It's the skeleton.
The skeleton, and it doesn't in nowhere says that Tennessee Williams is like this. Shakespeare is like this. Chekhov is like this or like that, and it's not like this and it's not like that. So we use that as a stance. Like, there is no one only way to interpret Chekhov or Shakespeare or Tennessee Williams or Euripides, right? So the actor can kill the author. And how? By putting all the social context and the text in crisis and make them speak, make them converse.
In this middle ground between
exactly
the text and your experience or something.
The why we put sometimes comes after, and we realize that we can take something political and something socially important from Tennessee Williams, and sometimes it comes before. When you receive a text that is obviously very political, very anarchical, has a very, very clear social stance, then the why is very clear. Then if you say as an actor, I really want to put this text of this author in my body to say this.
It's cool, it's very cool.
It's hard.
Yeah, sure.
It's hard. For example, in Love's Labour's Lost, that you know that we are trying to put it. We're rehearsing Love's Labour's Lost. Like, what's the importance of Love's Labour's Lost when the world is falling apart? What's the importance of a comedy that speaks about sometimes a ridiculous kind of love, blah, 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 blah. But when you really dive into the words of Shakespeare, you can realize that love can be a crisis. Love can be... Maybe love is in crisis right now.
Love. You think love is in crisis right now? On a
on a global scale.
Yeah.
Maybe it is. I don't know. It's a question.
It's a question. That's a good question.
That can be a good question to have a reason to put Love's Labour's Lost.
Okay, because this is the play
Exactly.
About love when love was a very specific sort of thing, I guess. You know, love was very courtly, Shakespearean, I don't know, in this play at least, you know. And how does that love differ from our love? And did he get at the core of something about love in that play?
Yeah, for example.
Yeah. Did he get something? Do you think he did?
I think he was just getting out a laugh of love.
Yeah. Getting a laugh out
of this courtly
love.
Love. He was getting a laugh out of it.
Yeah.
But he also, while he was doing that, he wrote very fucking beautiful texts.
Yeah.
Making their characters question love and speak with Cupid.
Yeah.
And what would happen if you put an actor of 2025 saying those words, trying to speak with what? Cupid?
Cupid? How relatable is that?
How relatable is that, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
How relatable is that? It's very hard to put it in play.
Yeah, of course.
But that is a question that we have to develop and put it in crisis so that something happens, until something of importance happens in the rehearsal, so that we say, oh, so that's why we do it.
So that, like a snap realization about sort of human psychology or something like that, or
it's more, I think more than psychology is about relationships. Like, the relationship
between me and love, Cupid, for instance,
or between two persons, two people.
Interesting. Can you describe a sort of realization that you've had between people, between an idea, where something has clicked for you in a new context?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, on Love's Labour's Lost.
On Love's Labour's Lost, or any of them, but Love's Labour's Lost.
In Love's Labour's Lost, I don't think I've reached that point yet, because I have only rehearsed for about 3 months. But the other play that I am rehearsing right now, that it's going to be on August 26th, it's called The Fools as Witnesses.
The Fools as Witnesses.
Yes, it's from an author called Andrés Caicedo.
Okay.
He's from Colombia. He was from Colombia. He killed himself when he was 26, I think.
That's very young. It's younger than you or I.
Yeah. And he left a huge amount of plays, and he wrote this play, and I am doing it with Felipe. And what I realized about it is one of the first realizations was fidelity.
Like loyalty to a spouse, like to a spouse specifically, or
there is a very unique loyalty between these two characters, Pedro and Pablo. There is a unique loyalty, a loyalty that Andrés Caicedo doesn't speak about it. He doesn't say Pablo is loyal to Pedro and Pedro is loyal to Pablo. We realized that Pedro and Pablo can reach a point where they can kill each other or love each other for loyalty.
For loyalty,
yes.
Kill each other for loyalty.
Exactly.
Okay.
Right. That you see, it's kind of
it's
hard.
Like, how does that work? I can't grasp
like,
that. Yeah.
Who, in which context, or which two people in which context can kill each other for love?
Yeah.
That is a big fucking question to put on the scene and say, we are doing this and we are going to speak about the government, we're going to speak about loyalty, we're going to speak about the streets, we're going to speak about marginalized people, and we're going to put that in our bodies.
Okay. It's a lot. It's a lot to put in the mix.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Layers.
Layers and layers and layers and layers. You know, I guess you start paying attention. Yes, please. You start paying attention to the layers which everything has. You become more aware, I would imagine. Seeing life through a theatrical lens, you're becoming more aware potentially of a certain way of doing things. I think artists generally, right, they sort of focus in and see the world through the lens of their art a lot of the time. So do you find yourself mapping these theatrical tendencies onto life?
What a question.
There you go.
Because, I mean, theater has made out of me a better person.
Yeah.
I think I can say that. That theater has made out of me a better person. Because it has made out of me a more conscious person.
Okay.
More conscious of my own body. What the fuck I am saying. Yeah. Every time I speak with someone.
Of course.
Right?
What energy you're giving off, or other people are giving in.
Yes, like what's my role?
Yeah.
In a situation, for example, what am I doing here?
What's my objective?
I think that kind of like could be psychopathic. Just kidding.
I gotta kill the kid right now.
I gotta kill someone right now. What am I gonna do?
Where's the core motivation? Where's got this belief again?
But yeah, I think that theater can the process of connecting with your body is not just joyful shit. You know, it's not just the body and connecting with your body. It's breaking a lot of barriers and dark stuff that you don't know about your body, you don't know about yourself. So it's a hurtful process also, and it's a process of developing conscience there. Constantly. It's not that we reach a point where we can say that, we are much more conscious beings. Not at all. We try to put it into crisis ethically all the time.
Okay, if you stay at any one level and say, now I have it, now I understand.
That's a mistake.
That's stagnation.
Yeah, it's stagnation. Exactly. So I think that there are some things about the technique that can teach you about life. And I really think that life can learn a lot from theater.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Because right now in the world that we live in, I think that one of the things that we think about the less or care about the less is the other. Right?
Okay, sure. We're becoming more insular.
Individualized. We are becoming more individualized. Capitalism is throwing us towards individualism. It's throwing us to not having faith in the other, or not having faith not having trust in communities or people, right? And if you take on theater through that point of view, you're fucked. Like there won't be any theater, right? So I think that right now life can learn a lot from the fiction of theater because of the way we try to build relationships, the way we try to build community, the way we try to build a play. It's different, I think. Yeah,
it is. And I mean, I think it's quite clear to see of any artistic community, maybe apart from the circus, who knows, but theater really has the sort of tightest communities, the tightest relationships between people. They forge communities in a way that most other arts don't, I guess. Right?
Yes, I guess.
Yeah.
I guess. Yeah. I mean, we try to. I think that in every art there should be an attempt.
Community. I think there should too. I think we need. That's what art lacks, right?
Yeah.
More connections between people, less competition.
Exactly. Or healthy competition.
Well, healthy competition. It's good to butt heads and have someone to work against.
Of course, and it's fun.
It is fun.
Fuck, this man is fucking amazing, or this woman is fucking amazing. I want to beat them.
I want to beat them. I want to read. They're reading that book. I'm going to read 2 books.
Exactly.
Exactly.
And that is really good.
Yeah, it puts the fuel under you. 100%. Yeah, but in a healthy way.
And then there's, instead of envy, there can be admiration. You know.
Yeah, exactly.
You can admire someone.
I think we've lost sometimes. I think an ability just to admire things.
Exactly.
And just be grateful for other people and not compare yourself in a negative way to them. But
compete.
Yeah.
Admire.
Compete, admire.
And inspire yourself by the work of others.
Yeah, 100%. And where does that come from? And communities being properly exposed to people's ideas as well, I guess. Maybe you get exposed to other ideas through a screen.
Yeah.
But that lacks on so much of the human component, right? And you need all of the human for healthy competition, probably, or something like that.
Right, yeah.
I don't know. Well, how much time we got left?
5 minutes.
Yeah, 5 minutes.
Or
15 minutes.
Yeah,
15 minutes. There we go.
Minutes.
No, I'm not sure. Where's my piece of paper? There we go.
We're speaking about other things.
There's sweet. Well, more important things probably. You know. Yeah, you're painting?
If you want,
yeah.
I remember that was one of the.
There's 3 questions I have here.
Okay.
One about opportunity in Ecuador as a country, and something about psychology, which you studied 3 years, a bachelor's degree.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then decided to go full in for the theater, giving your diploma to your parents, and all that sort of stuff. Thank you, Mom and Dad.
Thank you.
I'm going to be an artist. Or the other question was about your painting, because you're also a visual artist.
Yes,
graphic artist. And you were telling me about the human body as a landscape. You're capturing in your visual art quite a lot of your theatrical perspective. You're starting to extract certain parts of emotion, of shape, in a way related to landscape somehow. Somehow. I'll get my head around it this time. Well, which one would you like to talk about?
15 minutes.
15 minutes. I have an English lesson.
I'll try to speak about all of it.
All of them? Okay. There we go. We're in the hot seat.
First of all, about Ecuador and the opportunities here. I think that, in a way, it's kind of contradictory, but I think that there's a lot of opportunities here because there's a lot to be made.
Yeah.
There's still a lot to be made.
There's a lot of energy.
Yeah, there's a lot of energy. People are very creative here because marginalized people are pushed to that kind of survival. It's not only an economic survival, it's also a symbolic survival. And art is a symbolic stance. Also, it helps you symbolize, re-symbolize, re-signify your own life or the context where you're living in, right? And a lot of shit happens all the time. I think you've seen it here. Like every day, some shit happens.
Something's gone wrong.
Something's gone wrong. Exactly. And I think that helps in a creative way that pushes you towards putting into crisis what you already think about your art or what you already think that you have grasped or known or learned.
Earth is constantly shaking.
Constantly the rhythm of danger. And life here is I really love that about this country. I really love this country. I think it's beautiful and the people are beautiful. So in that way, it's kind of contradictory because there is no economic help, aids from there is, but they're very few, too few for us. But yeah, that's a contradiction.
That's a contradiction. There's a lot of energy, but it's hard to get the means.
It's very hard to get the means, yeah. I don't remember the other 2 questions.
The next question was psychology in the theater.
Oh, yeah.
You're learning more about psychology, sometimes you say, in the theater than you did in university.
Completely.
Yeah,
because in the theater you have to listen a lot. In the university they don't teach you to listen. They don't teach you how to listen. They don't teach you how to create that scene where someone can speak about their intimacies or speak about what they don't know, what they think they don't know.
Yeah.
Right. But in theater it's kind of like that. You didn't know that you were going to say that or do something, and it's like, oh, so something's happening. There's a special territory where a relationship can be built, and a special kind of listening can be built, right? A listening that is from the body also, not only the ears. And the thing about the line that connects
the equator,
the line that connects the visual thing with the psychology thing with the body as a landscape is everything is there. Everything is kind of connected there. I don't think that psychology has helped me in any way in art. I think it's all the way around. Right? All the way around.
Art is helping psychology.
Yes. I think that in a way, psychology has helped me to have like a symbolic structure to understand, be able to read more complex books, be able to understand more complex theory about art or about history or about psychoanalysis or about philosophy. Like it's like a gateway to start reading more and understanding more and start building my symbolic structure as a human being, as an artist, right? So I think that in a way, yes, psychology helped towards that, but now it's much more the other way around. The way I think about art right now, it's hard to describe, it's hard to speak about it, because it's not a process that is completely theoretical, it's very practical, especially in the engraving territory, the printmaking territory. There's a lot of mysticism also, a lot of hidden and secret techniques in engraving, printmaking. But what has happened, for example, when I started to paint and when I brought painting towards printmaking, what happened was that my way of making a trace, way of making a line changed drastically. Because it's very different to paint a line with a brush in a paper than making a line in metal.
Well, there's so much more time, right? I guess is that the big...
Much more process, much more layers, much more time, much more patience. So my line changed a lot. And one of the things that made it change was an analysis that a friend of mine made. She said that what she's interested about of my work is that when she sees my works, there is not like this painting that is completely created for the eyesight of the person that is watching. I mean that there's not like a very concrete image or very concrete shape that someone looks at it and says, oh, it's that. So it takes kind of a lot of views, and you can stare at a painting and you can see more stuff, and that has to do a lot with the landscape. Yeah. That was what I was talking to you about yesterday, right? Landscape. When you look at a landscape, it's impossible to look at all the single details, and it's impossible to look at a landscape and say, I can see it all. Yeah. It's impossible. No. Right? So if you look at a body, it's also impossible to see all the details, because the body is charged with emotion, is charged with movement, is charged with energies, is charged with the texts that they are working on, or a lot of thoughts, right? So what if the thoughts, the energy, the movement, the relationship between the others has an impact on the shape and makes the shape break away? Okay. Right? Yeah. And then creates it again. Okay, this is your attention. Yes, it's constant formation and deformation. Formation and deformation. Okay. I think I tried to grasp it in 15 minutes. Oh, we did it in 10 minutes. That's fantastic. Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, there's much more we could talk about, I'm sure. Yes, I think there's much more, yeah. We're like embalados. Embalados. What does that mean? Yeah, okay. Like a bullet. Like yeah, running around. No, it's I mean, such a pleasure to hear your thoughts. Of course, you know, thanks. I really admire what you do. Thanks. I think it's fantastic. I admire you also. Thank you, sir. I guess that's us. That's us. Yeah. Thanks for watching, or whatever. Or not. Or not. Hi, Mum. Thank you, man.